Whatever you may think about mystery at Blind Frog Ranch, this illuminating interview with the lead player, ranch owner Duane Ollinger, will blow your mind. The new Discovery series has exploded the fan base, and there are those who believe and the skeptics. But after you read this, any doubts that there is something not quite normal in this remote ranch in Utah will be made clear. Duane wants you to believe. He's not the incense-burning, hippy-dippy, woo-woo sort. Ollinger is a laconic Texan who is a bottom-line kind of guy. Until he crossed paths with a man who convinced him there's something far more valuable than Mormon or lost Spaniard gold spirited into the hillside by Aztecs. No, sir, you will see a bona fide academic, Eric Drummond, as serious as a heart attack and as solid a scientist as they come. Witness dirt and sand melt down in a crucible and become not glass, but solid metal. This week, he finds iridium on the property. Anyone who is wizened to the elements knows that iridium is more commonly found in asteroids than on planet Earth, making it a valuable new find on the Blind Frog property. Will it be an interminable slog like Curse of Oak Island that finds a cross here, a gemstone there, for years on end? Not to dismiss that work, but the Ollingers have sunk a ton of their money into mining this odd Utah ranch, and as they have proceeded, very strange things are happening all around. After making a great living as an oil contractor, Duane sold his company in Amarillo, Texas, and put everything into a wildcat gold mining opportunity in the Uinta Mountains in Utah. Since he started prospecting at Blind Frog Ranch, he's uncovered a system of underground caverns that snake underneath the property. He's since become convinced there's stashed treasure hidden inside the caverns, and his singular focus has been finding it. But the story is deeper, and our exclusive TV show's interview will tell you. The energy fields may be something that cannot be written off and need to be really scientifically sorted. Adding to the fun of the story is the power of law. The locals in the area are wary and think that a curse protects the treasure, and Duane has had a myriad of strange occurrences that have knocked him off course. We find out he is selling the property for the right price, but as time goes on and the treasure factor becomes a real thing, he may have a change of heart. There's a lot of faith leaping here, but one thing is for certain: something ain't right at the ranch. There were several stages to the whole deal. So the first bug was that we were involved with, you might call it, a healing center where we would sponsor scientists and people to come in and help give a different thought to maybe what's going on a long time ago. Maybe open their minds a little bit. We dealt with people like ex-NASA engineers. We created a group of people that would call scientists in and people that knew some off-the-wall stuff. Then there was a project brought to us by a man who came in and talked on some stuff, and we found out about it through him. And the project kind of went south a little bit. And then I stepped in and controlled the project and just moved it forward. Yes, it is. Now in saying that now here's how it works. In a collateral damage situation here, there was a man, Jeremiah Davis, that did me a huge favor. Huge. I don't know that I could ever repay him, even if I brought this to the world's attention. But he wanted the property story to be told of everything that we collectively are not being told. As far as that, there's more out there in this life. He was tied to some high-level folks, you might say. On his deathbed, I told him that I would get this story out. I looked for several different realtors and I thought, I can do it this way because we have the energy zone, ley lines, caves, all kinds of stuff. I felt like this property is worth a bunch, but this TV series will also get the story out there too. The man, Jeremiah Davis, that did me a huge favor, he is a very high-level person, way up there. Well past that. You can probably look it up on the website https://homeranchsales.com/Utah and see his death statement where we have it for sale. On his deathbed, I told him that I got the story out, and I said, "Man, I never lied to you." And he, Jeremiah Davis, said on his deathbed, "Nor did I lie to you." And I said to him, "I got this story out for you." He said that he would never have dreamed the story of Blind Frog Ranch would have got out like this. It's such an honor to get to work with Carver 7 Pictures and Discovery. They helped us move through this project. I'm lost for words for that. It just helps get this story out even more, that there's more out there than what we're being told by any government or religions. Take that however you want. I've said this before, and it's a tough one. The best day of your life is when your children become your heroes, and mine have. Doing what he does is flat out impossible. It would be like me trying to stop the waves from coming in from the ocean. He has always been a high-risk kid. He's a stunt pilot. People don't realize that. He went for the world record on inverted spins with the Guinness Book of World Records. It's always been a pleasure to work with that little kid. And it is huge. He has my heart. I can elaborate, and we didn't know anything about this. The boots on the ground, Carver 7, all the production people out there didn't know anything about it. In that scene, we pulled the cameras, and they were just going through some footage to see if they picked anything up. And that's where this guy shows up, in front of the gang camera. It is weird, and if he's having an epileptic fit, that I'm sorry that this happens to somebody like that, but it's way more than that. This guy was just flat weird. Well, several different theories. In what we do, we've always got a little bit of the runaround up there. So either somebody was just, I hate to say it, but possessed, or maybe somebody was acting, just trying to scare people to get them off so they can take something over. There's just so many things but this is not bullsh asterisk up there, and you just have to wade through it. But this guy, or whoever did this, doesn't realize that where we come from, we don't play those games. If they're playing a game, they don't realize how dangerous it is or what our capabilities are. Okay, so you understand. So if they don't start no bullsh asterisk, there won't be any. Well, Eric was brought to us by Carver 7 and Discovery, and he's high level. He just can't get enough of this guy because he is so sincere, but he is willing to. I hate to tell Chad this, but he's willing to push Chad out of the way. That's kind of crazy, but everybody just wants to be a part of getting us out, finding out how this works. Eric had to scratch his head on some stuff. I don't know where to start with this, but he's had to rethink some of the stuff that he has been taught. I have seen these tests run hundreds of times in different areas and different energy zones. I told Eric about that, and he said, "Well, that's just not the way the books tell us, so we will have to rethink this if it's viable." Now he has seen it. There has been different times out there that something else is percolating out. Now the dirt is always tested before we do the sampling. So we know the components in these dirt, and the next thing, other things start showing up that wasn't in it before. We use a XRF gun, and the material makeup, or the parts per million of what's in it. We are using somebody else's technical devices. We're just looking at it and saying, "Oh, well, it looks like copper. He's just a good son of a buck," is all I got to say. Yes, you have never, and you can ask my son this, you have never seen me do anything for the hell of it. We just don't do that. I mean, I'd be the dumbest sumbitch in the world to say, I just want people to see it, man. So yeah, I believe that there's more out there, and I've seen a lot of things that helps me to believe in the information that not a lot of people have ever seen. There's information that we have that is beyond what people will believe, but I've seen it. So, I can't deny it. So that helps me move forward. Well, I think what the land is going to do, if all the things that we've seen come to be, where we can prove it to be the truth. I think it will be a game changer to a lot of technology because these energy fields are huge. I mean, there's people. Don't shoot the messenger on this, please. But there's people that have gone out there and had many years' worth of physical pain and just walking in those energy fields. And the next thing, they don't have these pains. There are people that have eye problems that now they go to the doctor and the doctor says, well, whatever you do, keep doing it. These are documented things, not something that I'm bringing up. These are people that have tears in their eyes when they tell the story, and how can you not let them tell their story? It is an overlap, because what we're seeing out there, and what I've seen in different energy zones, that's very well proven. Is it seems like that in an energy zone you can take regular dirt. I know of 2 of these places right now, up in Utah one and Amarillo, Texas is the other. And in saying that, when you heat up dirt up to a 1,850 degrees, 1,900 degrees, and you use fluxes to get it to its molted stage or mass, if you leave that in that molted mass for an hour and a half to 2 hours, that energy zone overtakes that molded mass somehow. When we pour it out, it pours out as fricking metal. I have so many documents, it's unreal. I have pictures. I have molded mass. We bring in scientists that come in with all this high-level equipment, and they'll set it up. They will test the dirt. They will test.